Happy days. Welcome to Red Pill Diaries. I'm using an old device because my other one's flat. I was just watching some videos this morning and having a bit of a think. And I've spoken about this many times, so I'm probably boring you by now on this topic, but I need to bring it up again and again because it's just I think it's profoundly obvious. It's a big tell. I think there's a lot of tells in life, and here's this one tell here. That you have two of the richest men in the world who are beneficiaries, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Of course, there are many, many more. I would actually say that by and large, most of what people would deem as elite are they're social parasites, right? But here's two guys who are used again and again and again, as is Vitalik Buterin, but there's others as well, Mike Novogratz and many others. But the two main ones are not even crypto guys. They're Jeff Bezos and they're Elon Musk. Elon Musk is not a crypto guy. He's a guy who decided to get into crypto very, very late. And not just that, he's a guy who told people to buy. He knows his influence will be followed. So yeah, he told people to buy, right? I wouldn't follow him, but I know many people would because people think he's Jesus, right? And if anything, he's more bordering on the Antichrist, right? So he tells his loyal followers that it was inevitable, really, on a tweet he knows everyone will follow, into Bitcoin at around about, if my memory serves me correctly, around about 50 grand. So 2.5 times the previous market top. Not to say that that's going to be the market top. Of course, it's not. It's going to go a lot higher than that. But you know, he's a guy with access to anyone he wants. Really, it's like the fucking dog. So annoying, piece of shit dog. Right. So he's a guy with access to all these to anyone he wants in the world, and that means he has access to some of the best traders, some of the best analysts you can imagine. And yet, he gets into crypto so late. I don't believe it. I believe he got into it much earlier. But he tells everyone that he's buying it at 50 odd K. And of course, it's lower than that now. See, you have to understand how noobs think, right? Noobs think very short term. They think very emotionally. They haven't got the history in this market. I mean, even in the old markets when things go up and down, your average person can't handle the amount of time things take to move. Things move a lot quicker in crypto, and yet it's still not enough. It's still not quick enough for these idiots who get involved in crypto. I can't stand dogs that just bark. It's like they're insane. Anyway, so these two guys come. Okay, let me put a long story short. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos never ever seemed to go to YouTube, who would listen to them straight away and say, right, how the fuck can't you get rid of my name on a video? How can't you get rid of hundreds of accounts all called Jeff Bezos, all called Elon Musk? How can't you do that? It doesn't even take an algorithm to do it. How can't you do it? And the answer is they don't want to do it. But the thing I've thought of this morning that's even more profound is it's probably them. It's probably under their own name. Well, the reason we don't do it is because it's actually Jeff Bezos' own credit card that's starting all these accounts. Because we already know who it is, because they have to pay money to Google to get the advertising in the first place, to run these adverts between people's videos. And soon that'll be happening even if you don't choose not to monetize your channel. You'll be... I would never dream of monetizing anything I have online for fear that YouTube and other scammers would push the scams of their syndicate, because it's part of their group of people. They are parasites. They have no they got no scruples. They got no morals. So why would we not believe that a guy that's claiming $10 billion in the same week that he buys MGM for $9 billion. In other words, the US taxpayer is paying for him to buy MGM. How mental is that? A guy who missed out on a contract. Could you imagine that every time you missed out on a contract and you're doing a bid tender process and you wrote a bid? Oh, but I spent days writing that bid tender. Could you imagine this fucking piece of shit dog, eh? It's a fucking piece of shit, that dog, eh? I know I'm friends with its owners, but the dog's a piece of shit. Anyway, I don't usually say that about animals, but that dog is a piece of shit. Anyway, I try to get away from this fucking noise. Let's just do my head in, so it's the morning, it's too early. All right, yeah, so back to them. So, yeah, the reason why they can... Let's say if you were just an old-fashioned scammer on YouTube or trying to scam for whatever it is, a car competition, whatever it might be. I'd be fairly confident to say that YouTube would have that video off within seconds, if not even allowing it to be uploaded in the first place, or not allowing the advert to run, right? Because it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It's like if you imagine someone who was like, let's say, someone like Bill Gates wanted to put an advert out there to groom some children for him or something like that, or for maybe for I don't know, for the Clinton family or something, to harvest some children's whatever it is that they're getting, right? That advert, they'd be a little bit too, oh, sorry, Miss Clinton, it's a little bit too on the nose, but we have to tell you can't place that advert because it actually goes, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but pedophorism and pedophilia is against the law. So yes, respectfully, we will have to decline your advert, right? That's what would probably happen. If I put an advert out there to teach people how to evade taxes, for example, or whatever it might be, if it's illegal, YouTube wouldn't put it up, right? And fraud is illegal, but yet they will allow that to go up there. There's these send 2 Bitcoin, we'll send you 4 Bitcoin back. Send us 10, we'll send you 20. Those scams in the name of Elon and Bezos are as I've said many times, they are partnered with YouTube because YouTube knows who their partners are. So the only question I've actually had is, who are those people? Obviously, there are people that YouTube don't want to bring to task. They don't want to tell them they can't do it, and they want to actually go above and beyond that. They want to facilitate and help them, not just because they're getting money from it, because they're getting money up front for advertising, aren't they? You're paying for advertising up front when you pay for Google. You don't say, oh yeah, I'll catch you next week, I'll pay it next week. That's not how it works, right? So Google is still going to get the money anyway. Maybe what they're doing is they're looking out for the continuation of the business of these scammers. And I can't understand how, knowing how greedy and stingy Jeff Bezos could make every one of his staff members in the country, I think it's $115,000 richer. Just a one-off payment of $115,000. Right? This is not using all his money. This is using just the money that he's been able to increase his wealth by since the start of the pandemic. Right? So go figure that one out. He was already one of the richest men in the world, and by giving every single one of his staff members, who he doesn't even want to pay minimum wage if he can get away with it, because they get subsidies from the US taxpayer, and probably I'd say that the same would be true in Ireland and any other country. Because the thing is, we're in other parts of the West, we're more welfare state than what America is. America's hardly, you get back, the public get back practically nothing of what they give. Americans going about this welfare state thing as if it's communism, and yet they'll gladly watch people like Elon Musk and Bezos get welfare. It's like you have a problem with people getting welfare if they actually need the money. Well, I suppose the thing that they're thinking there is those people haven't put any money in. Not entirely true, but in many cases, yeah, it is true. It's people who can sit on the dole all their life. You get them in countries like Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Ireland. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I just think that the reason why they're not removed from that platform just makes perfect sense. They are not only in on it, it is their scam. All those hundreds of accounts you see with Jeff Bezos, that is his team running it against one of his company's accounts. YouTube know that, therefore they carry on. They're in partnership with Google's Alphabet, YouTube, whatever. and that's how the scam perpetuates, because Elon Musk doesn't mind shilling a total shit coin that, yes, I did buy back in 2014 before it got merge mined with Litecoin, because I was just playing around with crypto, you know what I mean? And I still, to all intents and purposes, still have that. I tried to access it a few years ago. It's on. I've got the seed phrases, the seed key. Sorry, it's like a not. It wasn't. It's like a file. Anyway, I've still got that, and I should do something about it. It's only like $50 worth or something, but I know it'll be worth a lot of money now. But I can't be arsed. But the thing is, to be quite honest, years ago, after they were in a situation that they almost had a 51% attack where you take over half hash power, or that was the risk anyway. And Charlie Lee said, "Oh, let's merge mine it." From that point, I thought, well, this is really dead anyway. It's not just about what makes money. It's about if you're a real cryptophile, you're there for the not just the tech. You're there for adoption. You're there to get rid of the fucking banking system. You're there to get rid of the system if you can as well. Well, I'd say a good half people in crypto around, let's say, up until 2000 and let's say 14 or 15, most of them were anarcho-capitalists or something along those lines, or libertarians. So you want really this technology to come out to, because you know the world doesn't need these parasites, these alpha parasites, this government corporate partnership, which Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos with their space programs and the government that used to waste trillions of dollars of people's money, NASA, now they're just handing that money to a third party to make it more difficult to uncover the fraud. It's still fraud. It's the same fraud as it ever was before. Elon Musk, how many years did he go without making any fucking money at all? How did he make his money in the first place? I think the second venture, I can't remember what the first one was, but the second one was PayPal, I'm pretty sure. Why did PayPal exist? PayPal existed because making payments were a pain in the ass and the old monetary system. Well, why was that the case? Because things like e-gold and Hashcash and countless others that were cryptocurrencies back in the day, before Satoshi Nakamoto solved the double spend problem and other issues, immutability and other things. But these, well, not immutability, that was already available with some of the others, but it doesn't matter. The reality is that these better payment mechanisms were actually available because these precursors to Bitcoin were all superior to this SWIFT banking system, Visa, MasterCard system. They were all superior. So Elon Musk found his way and was let forward into to basically partner with another billion-dollar company, eBay, another company that all it was doing was having servers that allow you to post information and making billions of dollars out of that information. You could copy this system. I actually tried to copy the system years ago. Well, me and a friend of mine did do it. We made a much better design system than what eBay is. But people fear three things. They're just weird. You can't philanthropically do many things in this world because people are so what's the word? They're so programmed into being what's the word? Parasitic hosts. They're so used to being sucked from that when you try not to take something from them, they almost hit an error and it does not compute, and they want to go back to their comfort zone, which is being bled dry, right? So anyway, I'll just cut it short now, but it's one of the only explanations I can come up with why. Like, we already know that YouTube could without the use of an algorithm, could get rid of these scammers overnight with a team of just hiring, I don't know, 4 people. That's how stingy they are. 4, 5 people. Look how stingy Facebook are. They won't even hire one person to answer a phone or fucking anything. You can't get anyone hired there. The whole key is these big automated organizations where there's no one at the helm, but they're harvesting billions. This was the key, because even the Walton family making the kind of profits they made, it's just it's still not enough. We need to be completely raping from everyone all the time and destroying other businesses with our unfair business practices and getting a leg up by the governments of the world. For example, being allowed to open during COVID when everyone else had to shut down, right? Total corporate socialism to allow them to actually compete unfairly in these markets, right? So the only explanation I can see is that, like everything else, they always want more. People like that, what, they're going to let someone else make? What was it? The first few months of those scams running last year, I read somewhere it was 200. I think it was 200 million in the first few months of 2020. I think it was with these send this, we'll send you two back. So imagine how many billions they're making. Those guys don't give anything away for free. They won't let someone use their name. You try to use their name, you'll get sued. Well, if let's just say it was only 1 billion. That's still enough for Bezos or whoever else's legal team to say, right, approach YouTube, take them to court. We know that they disobey court orders. When a friend of mine, he's a plastic surgeon, he got his name defamed by someone on a Google Groups thing, and Google wouldn't remove it, even though there was a subpoena. What do you call it again? A court order. This is over in Florida, to remove this information from Google. You know what Google came back to him and said they would only do it if he removes their name from the court case, so that they basically undo the legal document. It's like, well, no. Already there's Google above the law, right? Of course, what did the judges do about it? Sweet fuck all, nothing, right? Even though he'd won this case, they didn't enforce the court order like they would do with you or I. They'd put you and slam you up forever, right? So again, the scam system showing itself. But you know, for one of Bezos's permanent lawyers that he's going to have, he's probably sitting around doing nothing. Hey, you may as well add this case onto the amount of cases you got. Okay, what is it? Yeah, you gotta get this case put forward, and then the judge is going to subpoena them for the information for the credit card records to find out who the scammer is using their name, and he's going to claim back the money that they've made in their scam. That could even be why they're sorry, I just even thought of that one. Maybe it is someone else running it. Maybe it is a person, and Elon's just letting it run for as long as he can because he knows he can get the information later on, and therefore take a profit share. You know how it works in the banking industry or any other thieving industry, is when you get done for fraud, you have to pay back a percentage of the proceeds you make. They don't make you suffer for all that you made. Let's say the Jamie Dimons of the world, or the JP Morgan, or the Goldman Sachs of the world. They have to pay back like something like 1% of the scam. Oh, that I'll make sure they don't do it again in a hurry. They'll make sure they set it up better next time so that they make more. Because why hold back when the government's going to let you off so easily? Well, this could be happening, but it's more likely that it's just a whole bunch of agents in a call center working for Bezos, working for Musk, ripping people off, just like they're doing, just like Elon's doing directly with his marketing clout by telling everyone that Dogecoin is actually good crypto when it's just digital dog shit. That's it for me. Cool. See you later.